New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring. We invite you to join our prayer broadcast every day at 8:15 a.m. and 8:15 p.m. Mountain Time. Send us your prayer requests or schedule a private prayer session by emailing prayer@ntmedia.org. And now, it's time to pray together.
Hello, folks, and welcome to morning prayer time for Wednesday, May 7th, 2025. My name is Muro. I'm a prayer practitioner here on the New Thought Media Network, and I am delighted and honored to be able to spend time with you in prayer yet again. Glorious, glorious day to each and every one of us. So, if there is anything, and I do mean anything, that you would like prayer for, please know that you can always send a prayer request to us here at www.ntmedia.org/prayer, Prayer. And we would be delighted to hold your intention. And of course, if you're watching this live and you have a prayer request, you can always put something into the comments. I always check them before I leave. So anything that you have requested, I do hold in my thoughts and prayers. So this morning, this is what I would like to share with you. I excerpted this from Guidance to a Spiritual Journey by Dr. Daniel Lee Morgan. Oh, hello, what's all love? Good to see you. I appreciate you as well. Okay, let's see. So, this is what Daniel had to say. Actually, what we have here are quotes from two different sources. First is Hubert Humphrey, and the second is Daniel Lee Morgan himself. So, Hubert said, "We can resign ourselves to the future, or we can design our future." And Daniel said, "We can change our experiences as rapidly as we change our consciousness." I like this. I like them both quite a bit. As you might have noticed, there has been a recurring theme in the things that have really inspired me lately, and it has to do with basically empowerment and the idea that not simply accepting things because they keep popping up again and again, but rather recognizing that there's something that needs to be addressed there. So I don't want to look at the circumstances and the conditions of my life and say, well, that answers that question. This is the way I'm going to have to be. Instead, I see them as questions. How do I want to address this? How do I want to live my life? How do I want this to be a part of my life? Or do I even want it to be a part of my life? So being able to utilize all that we are can bring about a much, much better experience in our lives. So let's go into prayer and let's think about what it is that you have resigned yourself to, and see if instead you can design something that would be far more effective for you. Think about what it is that's in your consciousness, how you view your consciousness, and consider how it is that you want to view it. Because the reality of it is, our consciousness is always there. It's a matter of how much of it we can recognize and we can see. All right. So I'll invite you to close your eyes, soften your gaze, whichever is comfortable and safe for you to do. And let's just be fully present to this moment. And so I know that as each and every one of us is the beloved of the beloved, that each and every one of us has that beginning, that source, but also that supply. None of us has been placed in this plane of existence and left on our own. Each of us has been given all that we need to be able to not simply survive, but to thrive. And of course, what that looks like for me is going to be different from what it looks like for each and every one of us. What I considered to be thriving when I was in my youth is very different from what I consider to be thriving now in, well, let's call it what it is, in old age. So I recognize that as I consider what is in my future, I recognize, first of all, that I can't know without a doubt what is going to happen. But I do know without a doubt that I have the ability to decide how I want to address that. I know that if I have a concern about the future, rather than simply resigning myself to feeling that uncertainty and that fear and that doubt, I can see what I can do to eliminate or mitigate that risk. Whether it's something that I'm doing from a physical perspective, taking care of myself as best I can to be as strong and as capable as possible, or whether it's something I'm doing from a mental perspective, ensuring that I keep my mind active, or whether it's something I'm doing from a spiritual perspective and ensuring that I am always allowing clarity and wisdom to provide guidance for me. So rather than looking at something and seeing only its surface, being able to look within, being able to see what lesson there is for me there, to see what blessing might very well be there for me as well. And so by recognizing that there is more to this world than I see on the surface, by recognizing that there is more to me than I sometimes allow to surface, I know that there is so much more that I am capable of. And so I look at the difference between what is a fact in my life and what is the truth in my life. Facts might be arthritis. Facts might be cancer. But reality, the truth, is that I am whole, perfect, and complete. The truth is that I have the ability to respond to whatever comes my way. And that is what I see most clearly today. The idea of responsibility, and I don't mean obligation. By responsibility, I'm referring to my ability to respond. My ability to respond to the conditions of my life. My ability to respond to those things that I wish to see in my life. My ability to respond to not only the challenges, but the invitations of life, so that I can allow myself to expand. I can allow myself to see more and more of who and whose I am. And when I think of my consciousness, I recognize that There are many different layers to that consciousness. And I want to strip away those layers that are simply obscuring things, the ones that came about purely out of doubt and uncertainty and of fear. And I don't discard them. I work my way through them. I am able to respond to them in a way that is most beneficial for me. These are the things that we have in our ability. We have the strength of the One. We have the wisdom of the One. We have the ability to take this and to have a clarity of vision, a clarity of intent, a clarity of purpose. And in so doing, I co-create a life experience that is much more in alignment with who and whose I am. I recognize that the strength that is within can only work on my behalf if I open myself to that strength. And so today, my prayer for myself and for each and every one of us is to recognize literally how strong we are, to recognize, to remember that all that we have been given as our birthright is always present within us. That means abundance is always present. It means wellness is always present. Understanding what it means for this physical form in this particular plane of existence might be wildly different. But nevertheless, at our core, our innermost being, our divine selves, we have this incredible gift of this blueprint of our wellness, of our completeness, of our wholeness. And we can draw on that to infuse us with greater strength, with greater clarity. And so, knowing that this is indeed my truth, knowing that the facts of my existence do not stand up to the truth of my existence. And the more that I recognize the truth, the more that I can recognize the true facts, the facts that make a difference in my life. The facts such as love, such as beauty, such as joy. These are things that are factual in my life. These are things that are the truth of who and whose I am. And the truth of who and whose each of us is. And so in that knowing, in that deep knowing, that feeling well within me of the certainty and the faith, I joyously, thankfully release this word. Because I am releasing this word to the law which always says yes. And so I affirm this by saying Amen, Ashe, and so it is. Folks, have a magnificent, magnificent day, because you have been given this opportunity to do with whatever you can. Make the most of it. Allow yourself to recognize that you are loved and you are love. Namaste.
On behalf of everyone at New Thought Media Network, thank you for being a member of our virtual family. Your financial contributions help share the New Thought message with people from around the world. Please visit and contribute at www.ntmedia.org/donate. New Thought Media Network. Come be you. And please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, peace and blessings.